Hi, welcome to this webinar with COMAP and with me, Sophie Keloganian. I'm in charge of the training at COMAP and I suggest today to talk about the multi-layer system applications. So the contents of this presentation, I'm going to start with a reminder about the multi-layer system, so the description of the pipe and the fitting. The multi-layer in the new building, so that's for the applications. First, the new building, and second, the renovation. At the end of this presentation, I will say a word about where to find the information and a conclusion. So let's start with the pipe description. It's a multi-layer pipe, so there are several layers inside. The inner layer is made of PEX or PERT. It's these two products are synthetic products. The layer above the internal layer is a layer of glue, a high performance glue. It's important to have a high performance glue. I will explain that just after the description. The aluminium layer, something important is that it's a butt welded aluminium layer. Another layer of glue, and the external layer is made of PEX or PERT, so another the same synthetic product. Now some properties for the multi-layer pipe. So I'm not going to give all the properties, but some are important, so that's why I want to say a word about that just now. One of the important properties is the homogeneous bending inertia. So thanks to the aluminium layer, which is butt welded, and thanks to the high performance glue, there is a very good inertia in bending. That means that the three layers stay together even if the pipe is bent many times. So it's really important regarding the mechanical properties. The mechanical strength, so thanks to the aluminium layer, depends on the thickness of the aluminium layer. The oxygen barrier, as we have a metal inside the pipe, it's an oxygen barrier, so no oxygen from the air can go through the pipe, dissolve into the water, and lead to corrosion for the metallic parts of the network. So there is no risk of sludge inside the pipe, inside the network. It's important regarding corrosion. And the color, it's white. The external layer is white, so the pipe remains aesthetic when the network is exposed. And as we have just said, there is no corrosion, so no internal corrosion, because it's a synthetic product inside, and there is no risk of outside corrosion because of compensation, for example, because the external layer is also made of a synthetic product. COMAP offers two kinds of pipe, so the Multiskin 4 and the Multiskin 2. The Multiskin 4 is the pipe with the high thickness of aluminium inside, so 0.4 millimeter of aluminium for the pipe with the diameter 16. And Multiskin 2, it's 0.2 millimeters of aluminium for the diameter 16. For the Multiskin 4, as the layer of aluminium has a high thickness, it's the product which is appropriate for rising column, so it's possible to do rising column. It's really appropriate for the exposed network because we can do straight line. Of course, it's also suitable for built-in network, and something important is that it retains all bending, so it's very easy to make specific shapes with this kind of product because it's going to keep its shape. For the Multiskin 2, the thickness of aluminium is not high enough to build rising column or to do exposed network. So it's the appropriate product for the built-in network and for the underfloor heating and cooling. The diameters now, COMAP offers multi-layer pipes from the diameter 14 to 75. So 14 is the outside diameter, and 2 here is the thickness. So the internal diameter is 10, so it's a DN10. And for the high diameters, so 75 millimeters, as the thickness is 5 millimeters, the inner diameter is 65 millimeters. So with this range of diameters, it's possible to build all the networks. So the heating network in the apartment, the sanitary network in the apartment, because we have small diameters, and it's also possible with the high diameters to do some big pipes. So to install big pipes just after the boiler room, for example. Just to give you an idea of what we can do with this high diameter, with the 63 millimeter pipe, it's possible to run the water for more than 60 standard apartments for the heating network. Now the solutions that COMAP offers. So first, the naked pipe sold in coil, 100 meter coil, for example. The naked pipe is also sold in bars, 5 meter bars, for the exposed network. So in that case, it's the multi-skin 4 only. To save time for built-in network, you can install the corrugated pipes and the twin corrugated pipes. And COMAP also offers the insulated pipe. And I'm going to say a word about the insulation now. So let's talk about the insulation classes. Usually, there is no minimum insulation is required or is mandatory in a project. But to meet the requirements regarding energy consumption, it's necessary to install insulated pipes and to install insulated pipes in order to have insulation classes 2 or 3. So in the case of the multi-layer pipe, of the COMAP multi-layer pipe, here you have in the table the pipe with the diameter 16, 20, and 26. To have a class 2 or a class 3 with the diameter 16, it's necessary to buy the pipe with the insulation thickness equal to 10 millimeters for the class 2 and 13 millimeters for the class 3. If you want to install the pipe with the diameter 20, you can have the class 2 with 10 millimeter of insulation thickness. So that can be very useful if you want to save energy and to size the network. Now the fitting. So COMAP offers 2 press fittings. So a metal press fitting made of brass and a synthetic press fitting made of PPSU. In that case, a crimping tool is needed, has to be used to connect the pipe with the fitting. The last fitting is a push fitting. It's a synthetic fitting made of PPSU. In that case, no tool is needed to make the connection. It's very fast. I won't go deeper in the fitting description because I did that in another webinar a few months ago, and you can find this webinar on YouTube. The webinar is called "Why Use the COMAP Multilayer System?" So you can have all the details about the fittings in this webinar. So I recommend to watch it. Something important, all the COMAP multilayer system is in line with the standards. There is an NF certification, and don't forget that COMAP offers a 10-year warranty. Here. Now, let's move on the applications. First, the new construction. There are 2 cases. on one hand, the collective housing, it can be a small or a big size building. The multi-layer is used for the tap water network and can be installed for the heating network in the common area. Usually, the terminal network in the apartment is made of PEX. And the terminal network for the heating network and for the tap water network is made of PEX. On the other hand, there is the individual house and there is a small collective building. In that case, high quality products may be selected, and consequently, the multi-layer pipe is going to replace the PEX pipe in the apartment. So we can, it's possible to install a multi-layer pipe everywhere in the dwelling, in the building, and in the individual house. In the new construction, the main benefit of the multi-layer system is the time saving. Indeed, it's easy to do some specific shape. It's easy to handle. It's easy to bend. It can be bent by hand for the small diameters. The press technology and the pre-insulated pipe allow to save a lot of time. So think about that. It's really it's a really time-saving solution. And as you can see on the picture, this picture on the left, you can see that it also allows to do some aesthetic installation and some comprehensible installation. And that's also that's also very good for the installer's brand. The multi-layer pipe with the high thickness of aluminum, so multi-skin 4 for the COMAP range, is appropriate also for the rising columns. It's light, 3 times lighter than the copper. It's easy to handle, we have just said it, and it's the smart solution for the rising column. And don't forget that with this kind of product, there is no problem with corrosion. So it's a key point for the lifetime of the product. And as you can see on the picture here on the left, as we said before, it's an aesthetic installation, it's a comprehensible installation, and it's good for the installer's brand. Don't forget that COMAP also manufactures radiator valves. So COMAP offers the full system: pipes, fittings, radiator valves, radiator heads, and in order to achieve an aesthetic and an efficient solution. So on the side, you can see here a radiator valve and the lock shield. So the radiator valve is here, the lock shield is here. That can be directly connected to the multi-layer pipe with because there is a press fitting here at the end. And when it's installed, and when we are in front of the radiator, we can only see the metallic part, so it's something very aesthetic, and of course it's efficient because COMAP can offer this one is a sensitive head, which is really efficient. Now the renovation. So on the slide, you can see a leakage at a joint. The columns of hot tap water is made of galvanized steel here, and the connection with the apartment network is made of copper. Here there is a fitting and a joint, so after 40 years the joint is down and there is a leakage. The column was behind the wall, and so it was necessary to break the wall to reach the leakage and to repair. As I've just said, this occurred in a 40-50 years old building, and the entire tap water network is down today. I can speak a long time about that because this happened in my apartment 2 months ago. So regarding renovation, the multi-layer system is suitable to replace all the columns and to avoid corrosion in the future. Today, in all the old buildings, corrosion makes big damages. It can be outside corrosion because of condensation, for example, and inside corrosion. And as I said just before, there are leakage at the level of joints, so because they are too old today. So think about renovation because there is a lot of work to do with this kind of network. It's mainly the tap water network. And the multi-layer system is appropriate because it's fast to install when the apartment is occupied. It's appropriate, as we said, to make specific shapes, such as this one, for example, and with the pipe diameter 16, it's easy to bend the pipe to do this kind of shape. And so you can feel free to design the network, and you can bend the pipe by hands for the small diameter. So it's very easy and fast to install. As we have just said before, the multi-layer system is suitable to make specific design, and thanks to its white color, the result is aesthetic in renovation. So it's really interesting to use this product in renovation. And don't forget that COMAP also offers the fittings, the thermostatic valves, and head for the radiator. So you have the full system for the renovation, for the radiator renovation. Another key point is that there is no flame with the multi-layer system. So no risk of damage for the radiator environment or the network environment. So it's a peace of mind way of working. It's a peace of mind solution. And some bridge fitting exists. So here it's a bridge fitting to switch from copper to the multi-layer. So it allows to change, to switch from one material to another very easily, in a very easy way. Now, where to find the information? On the COMAP website, so on the page here, it's the COMAP website. Sorry, it's in French. But you can find all technical data. For example, here, it's the technical manual. And in order to size the network. For example, you can see here a page regarding the pressure loss, so in order to size the network. There are also videos, implementation videos for the installer. So think about that you can find all the information. You can download the technical manual from the COMAP website. You can also download the BIM library in order to digitally model the building with the networks inside. You can download this kind of this library and have the access to this kind of pages with all the information about the fittings and the pipe. As a conclusion, I would say that the multi-layer system is appropriate for the new building because it's time-saving. It's really time-saving, so it's a really key point. The multi-layer can be used for all applications, heating, tap water, cooling, and it allows to do aesthetic and comprehensible installation. So as we said, it's good for the installer's brand. In renovation, the multi-layer is the right product to replace corroded pipes. It's easy to handle, it's easy to bend, it's easy to use in an occupied apartment, and it's aesthetic when the network is exposed. Don't forget, you can find all the technical data on the COMAP website. This presentation is finished now, and thank you for attending it. You can join us on CoExpert, you can join us on the COMAP website and on the social media. Thank you very much. Take care and bye-bye.